In this lesson, we're going to continue talking about angles and talking about pairs of angles that help us find angle measures, such as adjacent and vertical angles. In this lesson, we're going to focus on complementary angles and supplementary angles. These are also angle pairs that help us find missing angle measures. A complementary angle or complementary angles are any two angles in which the sum, remember that means addition, of their measurements is 90 degrees. So if you were to add together the two angle measures, it should equal 90 degrees. You can see that illustrated in the picture on the right. The picture on the right, we have a 90-degree angle, and we know it's 90 degrees because of the square in the middle. And then it's divided into two angles, angle 1 and angle 2. These two together equal 90 degrees. We can show that by writing the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 equals 90. Similar to complementary angles, you have supplementary angles. These are any two angles in which the sum, again addition, of the measurements is 180 degrees. So looking at the visual on the right, we have two angles that are formed to make a straight angle. You have angle 3 and angle 4. And together, these make a straight angle, which is 180 degrees. If you were to draw the arc for each angle, you can see that the two arcs form a half circle. And that's how we know that it's 180 degrees. We can model this one by saying the measure of angle 3 plus the measure of angle 4 equals 180. And again, knowing these two facts, we're able to find missing angle measurements. Let's practice identifying complementary and supplementary angles. Using the diagram, name two pairs of complementary angles and two pairs of supplementary angles. So let's focus on the complementary angles first. Remember, as soon as you see the word complementary, we know that this means two angles that equal 90 degrees. So we're looking for 90-degree angles. Looking at your diagram, you can see the rectangle has 4 90-degree angles. So we can pick any pair to help model this. First, I can pick angle 1 and angle 2. Angle 1 plus angle 2 equals 90 degrees. Another pair that I could pick to help model this would be angle 3 and angle 4. I could write angle 3 plus angle 4 equals 90. You write the other two. Now if we look at supplementary angles, remember supplementary, as soon as we see that word, we want to think of 180 degrees. So supplementary angles are going to make a straight line, or when we connect their arcs, they make a half circle. So taking a look at your diagram, angle 9, if we draw our arc, and angle 10, if we draw an arc there, you can see it makes a half circle and it forms a straight angle. So we could say angle 9 plus angle 10 equals 180. We could also say, if we take the arc for 10 and the arc for 11, those also make a half circle, which forms a straight angle. So we could say angle 10 plus angle 11 equals 180. Go ahead and see if you can find the other two angle pairs that make supplementary angles. Number 2, given the diagram, classify each angle pair as complementary, supplementary, or neither. A wants us to compare angle 1 and angle 6. If we were to draw our arcs for these two angles, angle 1's arc is here, and angle 6 arc is here. Those two arcs together make a half circle, which makes a straight angle, which is 180 degrees, which represents supplementary angles. Letter B wants us to compare angle 1 and angle 2. So again, looking at their arcs, here's the arc for angle 1 and the arc for angle 2. We can see by the square in the middle that these two angles form a 90-degree angle. 90-degree angles are complementary. Letter C. C wants us to compare angle 4 and angle 5. If we were to draw in their arcs, it looks like it might create a 90-degree angle. But remember, we can't go off of what it looks like, so we don't know for sure. It definitely does not create a 180-degree angle, so this one is neither. Go ahead and highlight letter D. In the next set, we're going to still practice classifying whether our two angles are complementary, supplementary, or neither. But we're going to add in their actual angle measurements. Number 3, if I were to add 59 plus 31. Using our calculator, 59 plus 31 equals 90. And we know that 90-degree angles are complementary. So we can classify these two as complementary. We'll do the same thing for number 4. Adding together our two angles, 72 plus 108. Using our calculator, 72 plus 108 equals 180. And two angles that add up to 180 are supplementary angles. Number 5, we're going to add together the two angles 38 plus 62. 38 plus 62 equals 100. 100 is not an angle measure that can be classified by either complementary or supplementary. So these are neither complementary or supplementary. Go ahead and highlight number 6, 7, and 8. Now, let's take a look at how we can use our knowledge of complementary and supplementary angles to find missing angle measures. Number 9 tells us that this angle is 64, and it wants us to find this missing angle. If I were to draw in my arcs for the two angles, I can see that together that arc makes a straight angle, which is 180 degrees. That's supplementary. I can use the fact that I know these are supplementary angles and what I know about equations to write an equation that will help me find my missing angle. Since I know these two are supplementary, I know that if I add them together, it should equal 180. So I can write the equation x plus 64 equals 180. And then I can use my knowledge of solving equations and subtract 64 from both sides and find that x equals 116. I can do the same thing for number 10. I'm told that this angle is 70 degrees, and I need to find this missing angle. The two together, we see, forms a right angle. So I know these two angles are complementary. And I know complementary angles, when I add them together, add up to 90. So I can write the equation x plus 71, my two angles added, equals 90. And I know how to solve this one-step equation by subtracting 71 from both sides. I find that x equals 19. Go ahead and highlight numbers 11, 12, and 13. 12 and 13 are just like 9 and 10, except for instead of a diagram, they're using words to describe your angles. Now, we can have even more complex angles that require a more complex equation to solve it. So for 14 through 17, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to tell if it's complementary or supplementary and use that fact to find the value of x. 14. I know that this angle and this angle together make a right angle. And I know right angles are complementary. So I know these two angles added together equal 90 degrees. So I can write the equation 8x minus 14, my first angle, plus my second angle of 16 equals 90. Now this is an equation that I can solve. I would start by combining my like terms, negative 14 plus 16. That would give me 8x plus 2 equals 90. Now I have a two-step equation. Subtract 2 from both sides. 8x equals 88. Divide both sides by 8, and x equals 11. I can do the same thing for 15. I know that this angle is 6x plus 30, and this one is 30. If I draw in my arcs that connect the two angles, I can see together it makes a straight angle. I know straight angles equal 180, so these two are supplementary. Since I know supplementary angles add up to 180, I can add these two angles together. My first angle, 6x plus 30, plus my second angle, 36, equals 180, because these two angles are supplementary. I can start by combining my like terms, combining 30 plus 36. That gives me 6x plus 66 equals 180. And now I have a two-step equation. I can subtract 66 from both sides. That gives me 6x equals 114. Divide both sides by 6. And I get that x equals 19. Go ahead and highlight 16 and 17. And then highlight number 18. This is going to be a tough problem. You're going to want to use what you know about complementary and supplementary angles in the same problem. When you find your answer, remember you're finding the value of x and the value of y. Be sure to send it to me in Google Classroom through a private message.